Back again with another episode, man. Special episode. Yala knows nada. Yala knows nada. Yala knows nada. We ain't gonna, like I say, that'll be we gonna hopefully start inserting a theme song pretty soon or some type of intro. Uh, but right now I'm just going live for the 9th episode. You know why? You'll find out why, man. Hey, nah, man. I just really appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me since day one. Everybody who has been really, showing support, showing love. Everything it's been a process, man, and the journey has been quite crazy. And excuse me if I sound kind of, I don't know if I sound a little bit different today because my throat has been kind of scratchy the last couple of days. But we're gonna push through that, man. That's nothing. We're gonna push through that. Uh, and we got a good some good stuff to talk about today. And really with the story time for today, man, it might just be the story time. I don't know how long the story time may take because I really want to share with you a story, something that happened. That Sunday. It just happened Sunday. Normally the episodes are every Sunday, uh, but I wanted to. We actually gonna do. Should I tell? Should I tell you? Should I give it away? I don't want to give it away. All right, but yeah, just stay tuned, man. Just stay tuned. We're gonna, just switching it up, doing something different for a good reason. Uh, but let me get straight to the story time because I want to get your opinion. Like I say, man, hey, this is Yala knows nada. I don't wanna I don't wanna come off like I have all the answers or I am all knowing or nobody on this earth knows everything, man. I personally haven't met him. So when you tune in to this show, man, we actually want to have make it a safe space for dialogue about things you may not understand, things you may not know. Maybe it's something you just want to know about. Something you want to ask a question to. You don't want nobody to make you feel bad like they know everything when they don't know everything, man. Because nobody know everything. All right, so the other day, my son and uh, our little cousin, they're out there playing, they're outside playing, and little boy, one of the neighbors happened to come and wanted to play, right? Which is cool. He when he first came, he kind of, had to get acclimated to, they were. He said he was 6 years old, so they're both 10. So he's like, what was that, like first grade maybe? Um, they start playing catch or whatever. But clearly he's not. He's only 6, so their skill level was a little bit better. But I think as like a little boy, he's looking up to these are the older little boys that he sees, like, oh, they catching the ball and he's not catching it as good. So he's trying his best to try to keep up and try to catch the ball. He's working on his it's just funny to see kids in the moment like learning, because he's trying to keep up with them, which is like, I mean, they're 4 years older than him, but he's trying to step his game up to show him, hey, I can catch the ball too. But so they playing for a long time. They having fun. Uh, and then I could tell. So I'm like, man, he seems like, as time went by, I'm like, man, he's been over here quite a while. Because it was like when it was about to get dark, and I'm like, well, okay, this might be, you might want to make it home before, before nighttime. You know, he's like, no, I'm all right. I was. I'm gonna stay here and play a little bit longer. And I'm like, man, okay, you might want to go ask him first. Uh, like he didn't want to. And so, but like 5 minutes later, maybe not even 5 minutes later, he goes back to the house. Then he comes back. So I don't know what he did, or even if he even talked to any adult. Then, you know, I don't know if he talked to an adult then, but then when he comes back, he gets the plan. By this time it was, what time was it? Because it get dark now a lot earlier than it did. But like now it's really like it's about to be dark now. At first the sun was just kind of coming down. But now it's like, okay, it's like it's almost nighttime. So, I'm like, man, you might want to go home because like they're gonna be looking for you. And that's when I think that's when I asked him, like, how old are you, man? I'm sure they like, you got to get home, and it's like you can't just be out. Like I wouldn't let my kids just be out. Not even at the age now, I wouldn't let them be out. Like, because you want them in at a certain time. Even it's not like back in the day where what they say you had to be in by before the street light came on. You got to be in the house before the street light come on, or when the street light come on, you got to be in the house. That's how it was back in the day. But so I'm telling him like, hey man, you might wanna go on back to the house, man. And he's like, no, I don't want to go home. And so I'm like, okay, something not right where he's not wanting to. Like, you should want to go home, I would think. Like, because if you come like telling me you want a snack, I'm like, man, what did I, as a parent, it's like, man, what did I volunteer myself for just saying that I want, like let you have somebody to play with? What did I volunteer? Did I accidentally volunteer to be a daycare or something? Nah, man. No, I was just playing, but anyway, like so, as they were playing, I'm like, man, you know what? You really need to go back to the house. Like it's dark now, so I mean, but the time just changed. So what, like six something? I want to say, like six, maybe. I'm not sure, like 6:30 at the latest or something like that. But this is why I want to tell the story, because this is where I want to ask your opinion on what you would do, because um, the kids, my son and his cousin, they say they about to come in, so I'm like, okay, now it's really time to go. They're coming in the house. It's dark outside. Going back to the house, and then when they play another time, we'll one of them will come get you, and you can play with them again. Uh, he was like, no, I don't want to go home. I wanna I wanna stay here. And I'm like, man, you can't. That's not how that work. Like, where are your parents? You just can't decide you want to stay here. And he's like, no, I want, no, I'm gonna stay here. Like telling me, like, hey, nah, no, I'm gonna stay here with y'all. I'm like, man, I mean, man, I don't, man, you can't stay here with me, man. You have to go back to the house, man. They're gonna be looking for you, And so I was as I was talking to him, I was like, man, what can I say to make him understand that, like, this is he can't do what he's doing. I was like, okay, well, I'm like, well, actually, I started like the way he was acting, kind of had me concerned, because I'm thinking like, man, it's something. What's going on to why you don't want to go back home? You know, like what's going on to where you are like this is our first day meeting you. You know, um, I'm old enough to be like my son is older than him. You know, so like what's going on to where you see somebody a stranger and you're like, hey, not, I mean I know we're neighbors, but like where you don't want to go home. So I'm like, hey man, you want me to call the police for you? Like, so you're like, what's going on? Because he said, yeah, because he said he went back and he was locked out, which I was like, I didn't think that I didn't go around there because when I went finally went around there, the door was open, or when I went around to the front, I saw that their door, just the screen door was up, so he could like it wasn't locked because he went right in eventually, but um, but he says he was locked out, which I get like he may have been. So he said, no, I'm gonna stay here. Uh, I think did he ask me if he want to like get something to eat? It's just like what y'all about to eat? I'm like, oh, he for real. He about to stay here. He about to really try. And so I was like, nah, man. Do you want me to call the police? Do you want me to like? Do I need to like? If I don't call the police, they're gonna call the police looking for you to like try to figure out where you are. You're only 6 years old. They're gonna call the police. What are you? You can't do that. You have to go back. You have to go back, man. We just now meeting you. This the first day. I don't even know who your parents are. You know, yeah, man. Just like, and I'm like, yeah, like that's the only way it works, man. Do you need me to call the police or something so you can get in the house? You know? And he was like, yeah. I was like, man, I'm not gonna call the police, man. Just go over there and knock on the door. Like, just go knock on the door, ring the doorbell. I'm sure they're going to eventually come to the door. He's like, no. And then, I make a move like I'm about to go in the house. Like, man, hey, you gotta go over there, knock on. Like, I'm just telling him, like, hey, go over there. I'm about to go over there, knock on the door, ring the doorbell. Then if they don't answer, then come back, let me know. So he started leaving, like he was going. Then he came back, like, no, no, I want to go to jail. Call the police. I'm like, no, what? You want to go to jail? Call the police. You want to go to jail? Call the police. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And so that had me like, man, maybe I don't think he understands. At first, my first initial reaction was, I don't think he understands fully what what he's saying. But then I'm like, man, you don't want to go to jail. I like if I have to call the police because like you need to get in the house, like we'll have to like figure that out, or else I'll go over there and knock on the door, or try to make sure that they know that you're outside, because you can't just be outside like that, late at night as a kid. Uh, but he says he wants to go to jail, call the police, and so I'm like, man, well, why you want to go to jail? Why you want to go to jail? He says, my dad is in jail. And I'm like, oh, they, like he doesn't understand. Like just because you go to jail, they're not gonna like you, and you like they're not gonna put you on the same. But he want to go to jail to see his dad, and I'm like, oh, that's dang. But then I'm like, man, okay, well, where's your mom at? Where your mom at? Because somebody taking care of you, like somebody looking out for you, or you like you're with somebody. Um, I think he said his mom was at work, and he's with his grandma. So I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, just go back over there. Your grandma, somebody looking for you. And I was like, man, that just had me like, he wanted to go to like he's 6 years old. So I'm gonna call the police because he want to go to jail. And the reason he's saying that is because his dad was in jail, and uh, I guess he thought that would be Like I guess he just, like wanted to see him and thought maybe like he could go be with him or something like that. And it's like, oh, that's not, man. Yeah, so in that situation, what would you do? Because the amount of time, uh, because I already know like certain people who I know personally, um, just the amount of time and just the way the stuff that he was saying. Like if I wouldn't have asked the right questions, he might would have. Like if it was somebody else, he probably would have called the police. It's like, man, if you were, you go around there and that like little kid locked out, little kid saying he don't want to go home, um, you know, I'm like, man, that with somebody else, that situation could be that's a dangerous situation, man. I'm sitting here watching some of the things on YouTube, like as far as people like the predators that are out there, man. It's crazy. I'm almost thinking like, hey man, who I need to join up with one of those predator catching. Uh, like I need to join up with some of them to try to cause people like that need to be out the street. Cause I'm like, I start thinking like, man, if he went down the street or he went, I don't know, but like if he was around the wrong people as a stranger doing that was man. When I was young, the thing was you don't talk to strangers. You don't talk to strangers. But it's okay to, be outside playing or whatever. But then like to say like you don't want to go home, that's like man. But, that was just a thing that happened. It was a good story. Uh and then it makes you wonder like, hey man, or if you're a youngster out there and you're doing wrong, you know, you got kids out here, man. Your kids are just out in the world. They still need kids need a mom and a dad. Kids like so your kids just out here and you can't do nothing for them in jail. So but I know that's a lot of the same. There's when they're talking about that could be like almost to the story that I saw on the internet. Far as that can lead right into the internet story when it comes about uh, the big thing right now is the migrants. What is Donald Trump? Oh man! Since the last episode, Donald Trump won the election. Since the last episode, Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris and won the president, the presidency, and now he's the president of the United States once again. People are shocked. Some people scared, man. The things that you're seeing on the internet right now is slavery is a big word. Um, Slavery is a big word coming from who all is it coming from? I mean, you've seen it several times now. All on almost every platform now. The word slavery is getting thrown around there, and people are scared, man. People are scared. People don't know what to do. I hadn't posted in a couple of days because I was waiting to see what people was going like. Hey, man, what's about to go down? What's going on in the world? I hadn't posted on Facebook really hardly. I've just been waiting. I've just been waiting to see like, hey, what's going on? Let me check out the atmosphere first. Hey, man, let me peek the scene. Let me see what's going on out here. But Donald Trump won the election. And now, it's kind of in limbo of what people want to, what people think is going to happen next. What are these next 4 years going to look like in America, in the world? What are these next 4 years going to look like? They said if Trump wouldn't have won, it would have been a war going on or something right now, like a civil war or something in America. Is it fear tactics? Fear mongering? What is it? Reasonable cause for concern that something may happen? What should you do? Should you what type of preparation should you be taking? That's why if you've been rocking with somebody for years and they switch up in a time like this, you've been rocking with somebody for years and they switch up in a time like this. Yeah, hey, it's quite the time period. Um, but I personally think, since Donald Trump is in there, let's see, man. I think if he's in there, it's for a reason, right? If he's in there, it's for a reason. So we'll see how that goes. But what I was saying that led up to all of that, because I forgot that we went like last week. The election was ramping up and there was some crazy stuff going on. But this is the first time Yala Knows Nada has an episode since Donald Trump is the newly elected president. But the migrant crisis, they, they call it the migrant crisis. And I was saying about kids being away from their dad or their mom. They were saying if people are shipped back to their or deported back to their country, what will happen to the kids? But you can see some people saying, it's just mixed reports. People saying that they'll keep family together. They won't separate the families. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But with the things that I see on the news, man, it's like between the predators and then there are people kidnapping. I wish is there a better word? Because I don't want to be. These are sensitive subjects. These are sensitive subjects when you're talking about stuff like that. But on the news, you're seeing more abductions. I'm seeing videos of like people like just trying to snatch kids and take them. You hear more about what they call it. I mean, because it sounds like slave trade, but it's they're saying, I guess I don't want to get flagged, but like the sex trafficking, human trafficking. You're hearing more reports about, and that's such a sensitive subject, right? But you're hearing more reports about that, and there are more there are videos. Uh, and if there's a way that I can do it without getting, like if I can monetize the content, I would want to share with you some of the different things that I see personally. So then you can actually you can see it with your own eyes, and maybe like I say, this is we gonna raise some questions, and then we gonna find the answers. So if I show some videos, then you can see like, hey, if a situation like this happens, what would you do to maybe try to prevent it? Or if you're in a situation and it happens, then what can you do next to stop it? So, you know, yeah. But the main thing of the day was I wanted to talk to you about, just man, just watch out for your people, man. Watch out for your people. because it's I see the stuff on the internet, man. It'll have you looking at, man, the news and the stuff on the internet will have you really like. But I mean, it raises concern, but it's also like there are people out in the world who their agenda, their mindset about, like, it takes a cold person to go do some of the stuff that you see on the news. And whether you're in the inner city or you're in the country, in a rural or rural or rural or rural. Can you say rural? Can you say rural correctly? Urban and rural communities. But yeah, man, either way, either one you're in, you can, and it is just different threats, different things, different things that can happen in your own, like right down the street from you. Some stuff that you'll see it on the news, and you could, like, oh, I was just down that way. I can't believe that such and such. You may not know such and such, but such and such just did whoop de whoop to bam de blam, and I'll be man. But that's how quick this stuff could happen, man. Um, but what do I know? What do I know? What do I know, man? What do you know? Do you really know anything about anything? And if you don't, man, stay tuned in, man. Locked in with Y'all Know Nada. It's another episode, man. A special episode. We hit you on a Tuesday instead of a Sunday. And we got some more stuff coming up this week. So stay locked in, man. We got more on the way. Like, comment, share, subscribe. KiddiE CuL-De-SaC. Yala knows nada. We out.